So Twin Drums is a game development company, and our focus is about pushing what, as a gaming industry, we can do.
The Wagadu Chronicles is an African-inspired fantasy world that can be explored in two ways, as a 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons setting and as an MMO that we're developing currently.
Afro-fantasy is a genre that takes inspiration from all of the different cultures and the folklore of the African continent and combines it with the element of magic.
For the game style, we aim more for the stylized look, well, kind of semi-stylized and colorful world. We want to emphasize the beauty of this world and also that it's dangerous, but it will never be gore or ugly or horror. We want to create this magical feeling.
For the adventure in particular, there was a very strong element of world building. It was definitely really, really important to go off and do the research and understand what it is that inspires the project and how best to represent that.
Everything that looks this way has a reason. It is a fantasy, but we take a lot of inspiration from actual cultures. Of course, with a fantasy vibe, with magical creatures, spirits, but yeah, it's definitely based on mythology and cultures that are already existing.
It's a role-playing MMO, so there will of course be elements that we will add from a narrative point of view that aid the role-playing, but for the most part, players have the freedom to create their own stories and be whoever they want to be in this world.
So far, we've released the book, the 5e, that explains all the lineage and everything, and there's so much lore behind it to really get into. I showed my brother the book as well, and I practically pushed him into a rabbit hole there. It's just something unique. You don't really see that often. RPGs or MMOs based on African culture. So I really hope this will make people feel very excited and more included.
I know how I feel when I turn on the TV or I play a game and I see someone that looks like me and represents a culture that I'm quite familiar with.
Kickstarter has been a very special moment for Twin Drums and for the Wagadu Chronicles because, so far we've been working for so many months without getting any feedback. And yes, we had some people who believed in us, apart from friends and family, including Riot Games, which was a big validation for us. It's like, okay, someone good out there thinks that our game is worth backing and supporting, which is awesome. But then on top of this, getting, so many hundreds of people or even more on Kickstarter telling us this is awesome, we want to give you money, we want to invest in this and play this down the line was incredible. But personally, I don't think that's the best way to fund a complete video game. And that's why we have support and the majority of funding is coming from Riot Games. Thank you.
The Underrepresented Founders Program is Riot's new initiative. It's our follow-through on our commitment that we made back in June, following the death of George Floyd, to invest $10 million in underrepresented games creators. Often financial support is the biggest need for game developers trying to get their company or their first game off the ground, but it's certainly not the only way we think we can help. We are also offering access to mentorship from all the experts throughout Riot, as well as access through our relationships to the large platform holders, the engine providers, et cetera, all of whom are really excited to be working with us to support developers like Alan and Twin Drums. We're really excited that Twin Drums is the first partner for the program, but we have more in mind that we're already talking to, in addition to some really cool ideas of how we can work with existing champions of the industry to fund even more games.
Currently, the Wagadu Chronicles is in pre-alpha. So we have a game that is playable online, actually, with others. It's a small, cute, playable game, but we're aiming for a bigger game for release. So this is just a first step towards, in 2 years' time, the final release of the game. We have been already getting really quite a number of developers of color or Black developers telling me or the team, looking at this, looking at the concepts, or now looking at the Kickstarter, I've decided we're going to do something as well. Or I've been showing this to my team, and it has been happening. It's not just about helping the Wagadu Chronicles grow, but it's really about changing the industry, changing media and the perception of what fantasy, of what our imagination looks like.